Hello, design lovers. I'm Ashley Childers, and today, by request, I'm teaching you how to create cohesive interior spaces. These are the exact things that you can do to make your home look and feel cohesive from room to room. Now, I know you're going to love today's video, so be sure to hit the subscribe button as we drop a new design video every week. The first step to create cohesive interior spaces in your home is to create what we like to call in our design firm a conceptual mood board. Now, this isn't real specific items or anything like that. This is a mood board comprised of all the visual inspiration that you have that evokes the feeling that you want in your interior spaces. Because when we create an authentic feeling in our home, we want to make sure that that feeling transitions throughout all of the interior spaces. So this could be welcoming, warm, sophisticated, moody, artful, bright, airy, anything that evokes the feeling that you want in your home. I want you to include images on your conceptual mood board that are representations of that feeling. We like to create our conceptual mood boards in an online platform called Canva. It's really easy to use. I think that there probably is a free version, and you can just collect all of your images from Pinterest or various inspirational sites, put them into Canva, and then create some really beautiful mood boards. Now, once you have your conceptual mood board, I want you to print it out, save it to your phone, iPad, whatever. I want you to have it as a quick reference as we're moving into the design part of creating cohesive interior spaces. The second aspect of creating cohesive interior spaces is really looking at materials, architectural details, windows, things like that, because you don't want your home to feel disjointed from an architectural standpoint. You want the envelope of your home to feel cohesive just as much as you want the decor and furniture items to feel cohesive. So look at your home from its envelope standpoint. Think about extending flooring, such as your hardwood floors or whatever types of floors you have. You want to make sure that that surface material is extended throughout as much of the home as you can. Certainly want to make sure that you don't break up flooring in between, like an open concept space where you may have a case opening. I really like to keep the flooring going throughout a space. Now, of course, you want to tile a bathroom or something like that that has a door on it, mudroom, etc. Obviously, that's understandable, and I love a little pop of interest in rooms like that, but when we're talking about open concept spaces, really think about extending flooring surfaces and architectural details throughout the space. A lot of times I see people add architectural interest into their homes, like archways or moldings on the walls, only to one room. And that actually breaks up the flow and the cohesiveness of a space. So think about it this way. If you are adding, let's say, picture molding to your office area, then maybe think about creating some architectural interest with similar molding or profiles in another room of your home so there's some repetition. Same thing with an arched doorway. You don't want just like one random arched case opening in your home. You want to create symmetry, cohesiveness, and flow by incorporating that architectural feature multiple times. Now, when it comes to paint, I really like to create cohesiveness with the paint palette. And in order to do that, a lot of times what we will do with our design clients is pick a color that they really love. And then simply by going up and down this paint card of the color that we love, we get lighter tones and darker tones, but they are all in that cohesive undertone for the color palette. And in addition to that, also what we like to do is, let's say we pick a beautiful, deep, whatever it is, deep brown for an island. I love to use that same color in other places in the home. Now, maybe it's a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, but we have that repetition of color, and it just creates such a cohesive experience when you're walking from room to room in a home. Lastly, when we're thinking about like architectural details, materials, and finishes in a home, when we're wanting to create cohesive spaces, we really need to look at the materials and metal finishes. So materials are like tile, stone surfaces, that type of thing. Obviously, I do like to mix things up a little bit, add some interest in a powder room, primary bathroom. I'm not saying that you need the same stone countertop surfaces throughout your own home, whole entire home. Don't do that. But you want the feeling to be the same. That just kind of goes back to creating that conceptual mood board. When it comes to metal finishes, I like to make a metal finishes mood board. I know this is a little bit kind of above and beyond, but it really pays off to do your homework and put your ideas down on paper. So say you are adding new light fixtures to your home, or you're changing out your cabinetry or door hardware, put all of the options that you have or that you're drawn to on a single mood board so you can see how it works all together. You're going to want to replicate material finishes and metal finishes from one room to the next. I'm not saying that all of your cabinetry hardware in your entire home need to be like brass or bronze or whatever, but if you're using brass and let's say polished nickel and bronze in your home, those are your metal finishes, you're going to want to integrate those finishes throughout the home so you have a cohesive experience. Number 3 on our list of creating cohesive spaces is to take inventory of what you have and edit. So I want to explain this a little bit. I feel like a lot of times, especially as we go through life, we kind of collect things from here and there and everywhere. I know I do that because I love to vintage shop and I love to find new things and all of that. But if you are really striving for cohesive spaces in your home, you need to take a good hard look at what you have and decide, do you love it, and does it serve you? And does it fit the feeling that you want for your home? So first of all, do you love it? If you don't love it, you need to get rid of it. There's no reason to live with something that you don't absolutely love. Secondly, it needs to serve you. So that means, is it the right size and scale for the space? Does it fit into that overall conceptual mood board that you created earlier? Is the style right for that? And then does it function for you? So, if it's a cabinet and it's, I don't know, you're using it for like, let's say a media cabinet or whatever. This is a good example. Well, if it doesn't fit the space or it's not the right size for the media components that you have, then you don't need to keep it. Just get rid of it and get something that works for you. I'm not saying get rid of everything, but I am saying that editing is a really big part of creating a cohesive interior. So, get down to it, really go with your gut. If you love something, keep it. If you don't, get rid of it and make sure that it functions for you, it fits the space, and it fits the feeling that you want. Now we're moving on to number 4, and that is to know what you need. So now that you've created your conceptual mood board, you know the metal and material finishes that you have or that you want, and you have looked at all of the things that you have and edited it down, you need to create a list of things you need, because I feel like a lot of times when we are out shopping, sometimes we get frustrated, sometimes we get in a hurry, and sometimes we don't really know what we need. So be really organized about this. Create a list. Like if you know you need a cocktail table for your living room, take your conceptual mood board, take the size that you need, actually measure out the exact size that you need. That way, even if you're not going out shopping for everything all at once, maybe this is a progression over time, you're still equipped with what you want it to look like, what the feeling and materials need to be, and the size that you need for the space. Now we're gonna get to the fun stuff with number 5, and that is the decorative accessories. This is where I like to go back to those 4 design principles that I have shared with you guys before of interest, scale, repetition, and movement. And these design principles, I talk about them a lot when I'm styling a surface, but really they are design principles that you can use when creating a cohesive experience in your home. So think about interest. Think about things that spark your interest, that you love, that create a little bit of like a curiosity. Maybe it's something that is very unique because it's a vintage piece. I just want you to not always choose the ho-hum things, because first of all, what's the fun in that? Second of all, if you're creating cohesive experience in your home, I want you to have little pockets of interest in every single room. Now let's move on to scale. So scale is size and kind of the amount of room that something takes up. And I like to play around with scale in my interiors. I feel like a lot of times we get nervous about going with maybe an overscale piece, say it's a piece of art or it's a lamp or it's a vase, whatever. But scale can be really fun to play around with, and it can create a little bit of tension in a space. Maybe you add a large piece of art in a room, and then maybe in the next room you add something else that's a little bit over scale, so you have those pops of interest with scale throughout all of the rooms of your home. Now, when it comes to the 3rd design principle of repetition, I want to talk through this. It seems self-explanatory, but let's dig a little bit deeper. So repetition is like the easiest way to create cohesive experience in your home. So repetition of material, repetition of color, repetition of shapes. So material is a really easy one to do. So maybe it is a beautiful, let's say, wood tone. And that gorgeous wood tone is a cocktail table in your living room. But that same wood tone, it doesn't have to be exact, but the same kind of feeling maybe shows up in the vanity of your powder room or in the island of your kitchen. When it comes to color, like I said earlier, repeating in that color range throughout your home. Maybe it's walls in one room, trim in the next, cabinetry in your kitchen. Just having that cohesiveness as you kind of travel throughout the rooms of your home is super, super, super important. The last design principle of movement really kind of plays into the interest, scale, and repetition. That is just how things and shapes feel in your home and how you move throughout the space. You want your home to kind of unfold as you travel throughout the spaces and welcome you from room to room, kind of pull you in with piquing your interest. So movement can be achieved through the way that you group things, the way that you hang artwork. I just really want you to be thoughtful when you are placing items throughout your home and decorating so that you kind of create that interest and pull as you walk from room to room. Now, I know that may seem like a lot to digest, but honestly, I feel like when you are creating inviting and cohesive spaces in your home, you really need to take your time and be thoughtful about it. I hope that some of the tips that I shared with you today can help you create cohesive rooms in your home and that you really enjoy the process because it can be so much fun. All right, who is ready to create cohesive, beautiful interior spaces in your home? If you loved today's video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments which one of my tips for creating cohesive rooms was your favorite. Now, if you love all things design, check us out over on Instagram at Ashley Childers Home to get a little sneak peek into my daily design adventures. And if you want more design goodness right now, you're going to want to check out this playlist next. As always, I'm Ashley Childers. Thank you for watching, and remember, good design is for everyone. So create a home that inspires you, have fun decorating your cohesive spaces, and fall in love with where you live, one room at a time.